Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Esteem a New Woman. The devilish diva starts on the road to becoming a new creature in Christ in this all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem a New Woman at Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Some people have an issue with me using the word alleged in my videos. Now, these people really don't understand the standards of journalism and don't understand that a content creator like myself, when they're doing a story, uses the word alleged because we don't want to deal with a lawsuit. Now, a YouTuber named Tasha K went out here and made some statements about entertainer Cardi B without substantiating them, and as a result, she wound up having to pay out a settlement as related to $4 million for making these unfounded statements. And that's what can happen to someone who doesn't go out here and look to cover themselves using journalistic standards, because when it comes down to making a video, you have to go out here and meet those standards as related to protecting yourself. And the way I protect myself when I make a video is by going out here and posting links to the articles where I got the information, and even putting the news report inside of the video to say that this is what I'm talking about. Now, this will be my evidence as related to my sources for what I'm talking about in the video. And this goes out here and provides a layer of protection for me from a civil lawsuit as related to defamation. Because when you go out here and you can, say, I am talking about what is in these articles and these news reports, that basically makes it where the person has no reason to sue, because you're talking about something that is of public record. And then after you talking about what's as related to public record, you then use the word alleged or the word suspected, because nothing has been confirmed. And with nothing being confirmed as related to these possible facts, this is providing a layer of protection for you from a lawsuit from an individual that you're making content about. Now, when it comes down to individuals, again, when you go out here and you're doing a video, again, you want to have those layers of protection, because when somebody goes and presents that video and they see, okay, this person is making a statement in the initial introduction of the video about this story, and then they've got these reports from the news, again, that's a source for that material. And then it's reinforced by more articles that are in the description box. So all of these are layers of protection to protect myself from a lawsuit. And as I'm talking in the video about what's going on as related to this reported story, I am using words like alleged, suspected, and if there is a conviction, I'm saying the word convicted by a court. I'm not going out here and making a statement saying, oh, this person actually did this at all. No, I'm reporting on what is presented by these reports. What's presented in the report is what I'm talking about, and what I'm presenting my observations and opinions about regarding the story. That's what any content creator has to do in order to protect themselves legally, because you just can't be going on no platform like YouTube, just going out here saying whatever you want to say, because if you go out here saying whatever you want to say, you might wind up like YouTuber Tasha K, winding up in the middle of a lawsuit with someone like Cardi B. Now, Cardi B basically is a millionaire, but she had that legal right to go out here and file that lawsuit as related to defamation. She had that legal right to do that because her reputation was defamed by Tasha K going out here and making those statements. And if you're making statements and you don't have sources to substantiate what you're saying, you can leave yourself wide open for a lawsuit. And that's why anybody who's making content has to understand that you have to understand what the concepts of defamation, slander, and libel are. And again, that's all part of understanding journalism and understanding writing, because I'm a professional writer and I have to understand that I cannot go and write about whatever I want, especially when it comes down to people. I talked about this in a previous video where a viewer was telling me, you could write about historical figures, and there's a reason why a lot of writers don't write about historical figures like many celebrities, because these people have estates and you have to get legal permission from that estate if you're going to feature that person in your story, because that person has a copyright on their name, a copyright on their image, a trademark in some cases on their image. And you just can't come out here and again just go out here and just use their name. Like, I can't just use any historical figures, especially a lot of them from the 20th century, like the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson. These are people who have estates, and you have to go to the estate even talk about them if you're going to do a publication, or you're going to even in some cases make any sort of video for, again, financial reasons. If you're not talking about them in a news story, you will be getting a cease and desist letter as related to making content about them, or anybody out here who has an estate. So that's why anybody who's in the business of publishing or even in the business of entertainment has to cover themselves by making certain statements. And while some people are upset about me using the word alleged, again, I use the word alleged the same way many journalists do, because a journalist is going to go out here when they present their articles in newspapers, magazines, or even TV news. They're going to say alleged. They're going to say suspected. They're going to say possible as related to things, because they are reporting on what could possibly be a situation. They're not going to report and actually say, oh, this person did this. No, they're not going to go out here and make a direct statement, because that can be considered to be defamation. That can be considered to be slander. That can be considered to be libel. And you could wind up getting sued over a video that you make if this person chooses to do so, even if it's a public figure. Again, you got to watch how you move in these YouTube spaces. You got to watch how you move in social media, and you have to watch how you move in these spaces, because in this litigious society, things can get turned into a lawsuit very quickly. And if you don't go out here and protect yourself, you could wind up losing everything in a lawsuit, the same way that Tasha K wound up losing everything as related to the lawsuit that was presented by Cardi B and reported to be done. I mean, recently they did a report where they said Cardi B basically is suing Tasha K's husband in order to cover these costs as related to that $4 million judgment. And the way you avoid these type of judgments is you go out here and you present your video where you're saying, okay, these are my sources. This is me, as I've got these sources from legitimate news sources, not some blog somewhere where you've got an opinion. I recently did, again, a video talking about someone who claimed to be the granddaughter of Anita Grayson, and there I said claim because this could not be substantiated by a legitimate news source. This was something that was posted on social media and not really confirmed. And the thing that you have to do, again, is say statements like that, because, again, unless you can go to legitimate news sources and say, okay, this is me coming from a legitimate news source, like I do with my videos. I put the news reports. If I'm doing a man crisis video, I've got the news reports, and I've even got the news report in the video, and I've got the articles there from multiple news sources All of that is about protecting myself from civil lawsuits as related to other people. And the whole thing is that many folks, they don't think about this, but I think about this. Again, as a publisher, as a writer, I have to think about what I'm presenting, because if I go out here and present something, it has to be substantiated, and I have to have sources to substantiate the information that I'm presenting in a video. Now, if you want to see me make more videos, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box, or you can pick up some of my books on the SJS Direct Imprint on Amazon.com, Draft Digital, Google Play, and even Walmart and Target. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, An Offer He Can't Refuse. The man who rules the world gets a job offer he can't refuse in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, An Offer He Can't Refuse at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Runway of Doom. The goddess next door struts her stuff on the catwalk to take on a runway of rogues in this action-packed all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Runway of Doom at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.